Alright, family, so this is my second and last video on the word Ashe, only because I don't really care that much. It's just I pointed it out because it's something I knew and it annoyed me. But let's go. Now, this enlightened sister Keisha informed me that Ashe comes from Asherah, God's wife. It's supposedly Paleo Hebrew. Also, now, I wasn't wrong on the word being a Yoruba or Ifa word, right? As you can see here, Ashe means three very important things. And the most widely meaning Ashe is a word for affirmation, similar to the word amen at the end of a prayer. But you see it's a Yoruba word, right? Now, what I could have had is more insight before I made the last video, but I wasn't wrong. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you briefly what Ashe means, again, in Yoruba or Ifa. Also, what it means in the Bible, who is Asherah, what she symbolizes in the Bible, and the concept correlation to the indigenous She or Mayan and Aztec. Now, let's start here. What does Ashe mean in Ifa? The Yoruba word has multiple meanings. In the cosmological context, Ashe is the force that sustains creation. The primal manifestation of Ashe would be invisible, the invisible force that creates both light and darkness. Now remember this, because it is important to the end of the video. What does Ashe mean in the Bible? It means life force. Here it says what religion uses Ashe in the Yoruba belief system. Oh, I'm not pronouncing that shit. It's considered supreme. Now let's move on to Asherah. Now Asherah, along with Astarte and Aneth, was one of the three great goddesses of the Canaanite pantheon. In Canaanite religion, her primary role was that of the mother goddess. Canaanites associated Asherah with sacred trees and association also found in Israelite tradition. What did Asherah symbolize? Now, we know Asherah is supposedly God's wife. I don't know if I showed you that, but that is according to the Bible and other beliefs. Now, first, Asherah was connected with fertility, childbirth, and motherhood. These states were highly valued but dangerous and often elusive in ancient Israel. Therefore, people may have been scared not to worship her, basically seeing her as her coat as a form of insurance. Now, remember this part right here, because it's going to be important to what I'm going to show you in the end. Is Asherah evil in the Bible? Asherah here is now being associated with Baal. Y'all already know who Baal is, right? Supposed to be the morning star or Satan, who is in the Old Testament Yahweh's Beti Noreh, and I don't know what the fuck that means. And Asherah is therefore being associated with something that is evil, as in inappropriate for Israelites to worship. But it's a reason for that. Now, in the ancient Mayan or She ideology and religions also, which branched off to the Aztec, they believed in dual, the divinity, positive and negative, female and female, upper and lower, as above, so below. Yin and yang without yin and yang. But for some strange reason, in a lot of these ancient religions or ideologies, they seem to demonize the woman a lot. Not really sure what's that for. I don't think that was at the beginning of it. I think that's something that was implemented generations and generations later of misinformation and mistranslation. Now y'all look at this. Now this is from the ancient Mayans or Aztecs, which comes from the ancient She or Mayans belief system, right? They basically copied and pasted and rearranged a little bit of things. But concept is basically the same. Right now, at the bottom, you see where it says the center, the dual and generative ruling and directive force, Quasicodo, the divine twin. Because our people believed in duality, right? We believed in the male and female coming together, and that was divinity, right? The above and the below, the negative and the positive. So many different type of opposite forces, and they don't necessarily have to be bad on either side. But Quasicodo is the equivalent of the Mayan Kukulkan, the divine feathered serpent. I'm going to get into that on my upcoming series, right? But on the brackets right above that, you can see to the left where it says the female region, Tezcatlipoca, who is also Michelin Tectili. And to the right, you see the above, the male region, who also represents Huitzilopochtli. Now remember that. All right, so in my research and my understanding of Asherah and the concept, basically she was God's wife, right? She was the mother of all, the fertility mother, all of that, right? And they cast her out. They kind of demonized her. And like I said, I believe that was through mistranslation and implementation of low vibrational men. So y'all remember me saying the concept is indigenous, not the word itself. Because as I just showed you, it takes two, right? And if you read here, it says the full significance of the narrative will become clear, I think, when the following points are dwelt upon. One thing is certain, an historical personage of a woman who was termed the sister of Huitzilopochtli, who evidently exerted a high authority and whose titles were actually the names of the highest female divinity. Now, Salgon states that Quetzalcoatl, a goddess the same as Siwakoro, was the mother of all and also named whatever that name is, which equals our mother. Now, what is more significant still is that in all historical records, a man bearing the feminine title of Siwakoro equals serpent woman is distinctly and repeatedly mentioned as the co-adjutor or as the co-ruler of the Mexican ruler. All right, let's jump down to here. There is no doubt about their equality of rank, though their duties were somewhat different. This equality is illustrated by the records that both rulers shared the same privileges regarding dress. Thus, they alone wore sandals, and Siwakoro is termed the second or double of the king, his co-adjutor. Then when you jump down to the bottom, you see it says the latter author, however, gives the full sacred title as that word right there, which ended in Siwakoro, literally means the black powdered woman serpent. And we thus learn that while Montezuma's garments were habitually blue, like Huitzilopochtli, his co-adjutor, Tezcatlipoca, was associated with black. And y'all can go on and read the rest of this. I'm going to show you another page where y'all can screenshot and read this too, because it's not going to let me go through all this. But it's basically showing that it was a female ruler, and she was kicked out, bro. But her divinity was still important, so important that the men even wore her clothes and used her title. And then y'all can screenshot this, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to go way, way more in depth in my new upcoming series, y'all. Remember, the word Ashe is not an indigenous American word, but the concept can be considered one. So kind of the way I see it is without each other, it would be no divinity. I know that has nothing to do with the word Ashe, but I hope y'all got the concept that I was trying to correlate. Peace, love, and power, my people.